right, welcome to One Nation, a Sports Soccer Magazine Extra, and we've got a fun program for you tonight. Not only fun, but informative. And I think you're going to really enjoy my guest tonight. And I say my guest because my co host out in Colorado, Jay, got called in to do some extra work at his job. So he will not be joining us tonight. He will not be making fun of me. And that's quite okay for just one night. I'm going to allow him one night to be off. Real quick, I want to talk about our guest tonight, and it's Cynthia Walker. Cynthia is a mom of two NCAA college athletes, Caleb at the Air Force Academy, and I want to really quickly show you. We interviewed Caleb a few years ago, and he's in the Air Force, and as you can see, Caleb can get some air. He was able to get up there and do quite a few dunks for us on the photo shoot, and I just sat back, enjoyed watching that, and thankful that it wasn't on top of me. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. Cynthia also has a son, and his name is Cole. He played 5 seasons of football at Southwest Baptist University. Cynthia is a current sponsor of Jefferson City High School's Fellowship of Christian Athletes. She's coached basketball and helped her daddy, Bobby Shows, start Sports Crusaders. She served as an international missionary, basketball coach, and player with Missouri Baptist and Sports Crusaders in Belarus. Then she was the director of development and education for Sports Crusaders for 4 years. Cynthia's worked with the summer camp coaches with a focus on inner city teams. She's been board vice chair and advisory council for Sports Crusaders. Cynthia is married to an amazing man, amazing coach, Lieutenant Colonel Steve Walker. He's now the assistant principal at Jefferson City High School. Steve has coached at the Air Force Academy and 14 years of football all over the country and wrestling at Jefferson City High School. Cynthia's brother is Doug Shows. He's a SEC Division I referee. You know those people that you like to yell at basketball games and you shouldn't be yelling at them? That's one of the guys that does it, and he does a good job. As a matter of fact, he refereed the Texas A&M game in the NCAA or in the SEC tournament just the other day. Back to Cynthia's dad, Bobby Shows. He played basketball for Mississippi and coached there, and in high school, he started Sports Crusader Ministries. Cynthia and Sports Crusaders are now in their 30th year based in Holt Summit. Her brother and Cynthia are still involved and nominated to serve the next term on their board. I was a little part of, a friend of mine had been a part of Sports Crusaders years ago, so I got to see a lot of what they did, and absolutely an amazing organization. And since I use the word amazing, we're going to go ahead and transition, and we're going to bring on the amazing Cynthia Walker. So, hi, how are you doing, Cynthia?
I am great. Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't have like smoke and lights and all that stuff as I was doing that intro, but I did the best I could, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you coming on here.
Sure, it's an honor to be here with you.
Well, you, as we read, have a lot of different things that you do. And I mean, again, when I pull that up, you remember that guy in that article, right?
I do.
That was back in September of 2021. Time is flying.
It's going too fast.
It is going way too fast. Um, so, we were talking a little bit about all these different things that you're involved in. We'll talk a little bit more about some of that shortly, but share with us about your previous work and how that's prepared you for what you're doing now.
Well, to begin with, I am the daughter of a Baptist minister, which gives me a lot of background of working with a lot of different people, being able to travel all over the world and experience different cultures, different people. I also obviously am married to an Air Force officer who allowed me to live across the country. So just being in different communities and being able to just invest in different school systems, different employers that I was able to work with. And believe it or not, I was part of the fashion industry for from the time I was 14 until I was about 28 years of age. So just working in that industry made things just really allowed me to work with many different people. I also got to just being a coach with basketball and also an athlete just really teaches you a lot about how to work with different people
Hmm.
and how to really build other people up around you, but also to take coaching and mentoring. I would not be having near the opportunities that I've been able to have if it weren't for
Hmm.
the people that invested in me. So, my resume is very unique. We've lived in 13 houses and 22 years of marriage. Well, we've been married 28 years, but we were in the Air Force for 22. So,
Wow.
I worked a lot of different places. So, but
Yeah.
definitely believe in investing in other people, and
Well,
that's what helped me learn how to invest in other people. So,
yeah. Well, I real quick want to say, um, you know, thank you first of all to your husband for his service to our country, and your
thank you.
son, your family, but also you, because as a wife and a mother, I mean, you're in the service to our country as well. I mean, that's a pretty high calling that a lot of times goes unrecognized. So thank you for you guys and
Well,
your
thank you.
service. Absolutely.
Well, a lot of great people out there that we got to serve with, so
Yeah.
it's very fun. We love our
Yeah.
country.
Yeah, absolutely. And we would not have the freedoms that we have today if it were not for people like you guys. So we appreciate that. Okay, now I want you to go ahead and tell us a little bit about Cynthia Walker Coaching LLC and what prompted you to step into this as a career.
Well, when my husband retired, I was able to move here to the central Missouri area. He decided to coach and teach, so I wound up coming alongside of him and teaching as well. That opened up some opportunities to help pilot the Registered Youth Apprenticeship Program with the U.S. Department of Labor. Came alongside of the Missouri Department of Higher Education Workforce Development, who offered a grant. So I was hired as a coordinator to help pilot youth apprentices across our state. Today, I get to work alongside of these awesome entities, as well as working with other school districts and employers across the nation to develop the registered youth apprenticeship program. So Cynthia Walker Coaching doesn't do just the apprenticeship development and programs. We also work with individuals. So I help young people, pretty much 16 to 28-year-olds, just help them find their career paths through it may be helping them pick their college majors. It may be helping them find just a good skill set. If you look at the statistics, our high school graduates are not going on um, to full 4 year degree plans or 2 year degree plans. We're looking at only about 20% of those students actually receiving college degrees or even technical science degrees. So we're looking at 80% of our youth population that is not going on to college. So we need to find them a place in the workplace. And I have really enjoyed coming alongside of many of these young people, not just here in my own state,
Mm-hmm.
but also across the nation. So that's apprenticeship, is a big part of what I do with Cynthia Walker Coaching, but also helping use just the DISC program through John Maxwell. I
Hmm.
utilize that through Dan Shaw's coaching, which is out of Iowa. And I use that as kind of a basis to assess students. And then we
Hmm.
kind of do life coaching and we job shadow and we work through things and talk through things. And so it's been a lot of fun to start this business just 2 years ago. So,
Yeah.
being a teacher and being able to work with the Department of Elementary Secondary Education to
Hmm.
develop this program has been really just an honor. I found the best of everything I love: employers, education, community, nonprofits. It pulls everything together in one big team. So, I've
That's
enjoyed it.
that's wonderful. So if somebody were to want to talk to you, how do they get in contact with you? Where do they go?
The best thing is just to go to my website is cynthiawalkercoachingllc.com. And
Okay.
that's the way you can reach me.
Well, wonderful. And I would highly encourage that for anybody that is needing some help and some guidance, um, being able to accomplish some of those things that you want to do with your future. And I know Cynthia would do a great job in getting you on the right track. So that's
Thank
a
you.
very good thing that you're doing. Tell us a little bit about how you've been able to help students and others, and um, give us a little bit more detail on why you think it's so important for today's generation.
Well, if we don't invest in this next generation, it's going to directly impact us, not just economically, but as we can see just in our culture. We have a huge responsibility to learn about this Gen Z group, right? They're very unique. A lot of people are intimidated by them. But what I have found is they're very hard workers. They have a strong work ethic. They see things differently. I have the opportunity to have, about 20 young women that come into my home in that age group that are they're between 20 and 28 years of age. And I really have learned a lot from them. So I just feel that we need to really spend personal time with these individuals. Don't be scared of them. They're awesome. They have a lot to offer. They're very wise. They're quick learners. And what I have found too is they're intrigued. They're intrigued with how to do things better, how to handle their finances, how they can affect their community, how they can even learn from older people like me and you, Kirk. You know,
I know.
they're just underestimated,
Yeah.
honestly. So, just as we move forward, just as a culture, I think it's really important that we are steering them towards spiritual growth,
Hmm.
as well as personal growth. A lot of times, these young people just don't even know what they're good at.
Right.
And I don't know about you, Kirk, but for me, it took people affirming me and helping me see the things that I was good at. And then trying out, maybe failing some.
Hmm.
A lot actually in my experience, but we need to allow them to fail and still meet them where they're at and build them back up and help them. Okay, we're going to dust you off and we're going to get you off and do something different. So yeah, I really enjoy working with them. So I think it's important. That's why I would encourage everyone is to
Hmm.
find you a Gen Z and invest in them, mentor them. That's what youth apprenticeship requires. It requires a mentoring dynamic to it. And that's why
Right.
we're causing a 93% retainment in the workforce across the nation. So
Wow, that's
mentoring is a big
outstanding.
deal. Mhm.
It really is. It's taking that time to, like you said, invest and not just give up on somebody when they have this label. So many times
Mhm.
when there's a label, people are, like you said, scared off, or they just aren't very patient and they don't want to see it through. It is
Mhm.
so valuable to take that time and see it through. Like you said, it's for our country's future, and we need to have
Absolutely.
young men and women that are um, being encouraged and know that they have value and know that they can accomplish great things. So,
Absolutely.
well, that's my 2 cents. So I'm going to go ahead and move
I
on.
agree.
All right. What have been some of your successful stories in helping others?
Oh, wow. I wouldn't even know where to start there. I believe some of your athletes that you have featured in Sports Locker magazine are some of the young people that I've been able to come alongside of. Tyler Wren, who's
Hmm.
currently at Columbia College, he
Hmm.
went through some career coaching with me. Lamaja Johnson is now a cheerleader at Mizzou. If you haven't
Okay.
done a focus on her, you need to go check her out. She's amazing. She also served as a sports crusader
Okay.
with us, so she's a very young lady, very proud of her. Do you remember JoJo Custer?
Yes, I do. Yes,
Okay,
I do.
he's with my husband right now. They are out celebrating. He just committed to jury like his other two brothers, and so
Uh-huh.
he's going to be a wrestler. But yeah, he is my FCA president. So
Uh-huh.
by far, I'm very proud of him and just the leadership that he has given us here at Jeff City High School. I also would probably mention Isaiah Parson. Do you remember him a long
I
time
do.
ago? He was an inside
Uh-huh.
linebacker from Eldon, and my husband actually coached him, was his linebacker coach. We
Okay.
celebrated him last week with the Commissioner of Education and Perry Gorel, our Career Pathways Manager. He is the very first. Definitely in Missouri. Our state director, Trace Lafferty, said that he thinks he could possibly be the first in the nation. But he is our first completed registered youth apprentice as an independent carpenter.
Wow.
He works for Thomas Construction, which is located out here at Lake Ozark, under Chad Nugent, who is the owner. And we are so proud of him. He has surpassed men that he works with at Thomas Construction have been veterans there for 15, 20 years, and he is now managing them. He is a
Wow,
project manager. He has already been a superintendent, a foreman, and he's only 21 years of age.
that's
So
amazing.
these are the type of students that I get to work with. I could tell you story after story, but they're so inspirational. I learned
Yeah.
so much from them, but to watch them just kind of get their legs underneath them, figure out what they want to do at a young age, and then watching them just soar, watching
Hmm.
just the many people that have come around them to help them get where they are. Yeah, last week we just had the whole village around him. He had his employers, we had our educators, we had, Department of Labor, we had all these people around him. But the families, the parents, they're critical to being that support to these students. So
Yeah.
yeah, I could go on and on, Kirk. We don't have enough time in this
No,
in
that's
this
good.
segment to be able to cover
You're
all
good.
of our
I did want to
success
tell you though,
stories.
you mentioned Jojo Custer. Just a
Mhm.
little, I guess, what do you want to call it? Just a slight little teaser. He's going to be the cover student athlete for this coming issue of Sports Soccer Magazine. So
Yes,
that
good,
should be out here within the week. And so
good.
yes, he's on there,
Well,
and
my
that's
husband got to be his wrestling coach.
oh
So
cool.
that's like I said, he's out with actually some of my other FCA leaders right now. He took them
Yeah,
all out to celebrate and talk about just all the good things that are happening with these young people. It's very fun.
yeah, and very good. And actually, they can even check out his article, and within his article, you've got an advertisement in there for Cynthia Walker coaching. So
Oh, wow. Thank
right in there.
you. That's
Yeah.
great.
So
Great
it's
placement.
you know what? I can say we planned that, but we'll just we'll just go with that.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I got one more question before we go to break. But I guess when we're talking about who can reach out to you, I know you kind of gave an age range. Um, is there any other? I mean, are there any qualifications, or is it just kind of open or unlimited to who you serve?
I will work with individuals that are trying to seek any type of career. I will even help adults, but I really do. I'm more of an expert with the younger ages. So
Mm-hmm.
16 to 28, 30 years of age is really where I pour most of my time
Mm-hmm.
into helping them as far as the career coaching side. Now, if you're looking at starting a registered apprenticeship program with the Department of Labor, I work with IWSI America. I'm a senior consultant for them. And then I'm also the apprenticeship specialist for Department of Education here in Missouri. And so if you're a school, if you are any type of educational institution or an employer, just interested, nonprofits, all of those, we are here to help you start registered apprenticeships. So you can reach out to me if you'd like to. You can reach me on my website, and I can help connect you with any of those people. But just next week, I'll be doing a boot camp training some of our school districts and how to start registered apprenticeships with DESE. So yeah, just I'm willing to help anyone that's
No.
willing to help themselves. So
Right. Very good.
that's what we do.
Well, wonderful. Outstanding information. And again, you are involved in a lot of different things. We're going to get to some more of that in the second half, but I'm going to let you take just a quick little break, get some water to drink or something like that, and then we'll be
Thank you.
right back in just a few minutes.
All right. Thanks, Kirk.
Uh-huh.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
At a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full time.
While I work full time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Ever wish you could choose the days or shifts you work each week? You can. At CNS Business Services, they're adapting to the way people want to work. CNS is working with area employers, establishing new, innovative ways to work with flexible schedules. Flexible scheduling is designed to find employment that suits your lifestyle. Whether you're a student, a retiree, or need extra income, flexible scheduling at CNS allows you to decide when you work. Call CNS. Your schedule, you're in control. CNS Business Services.
Say yes to CNS.
All right. Well, we are thankful for our sponsors, CNS Business Services and the Missouri Army National Guard recruiting. Um, just as we had spoken about Cynthia's husband, Lieutenant Colonel Steve Walker, we are so thankful for his service and his family's service to our country. Her son, Caleb Walker, who is serving our country in the Air Force. We're also very thankful for all the young men and women that serve in any branch of our military. That's including the Missouri Army National Guard, and they do an outstanding job recruiting young men and women to defend the rights of our freedom and to make a difference in the communities that they go into after they're out of service. So we just want to say thank you for a job well done to the Missouri Army National Guard. Also, we want to thank CNS Business Services for the outstanding job that they do right here in mid-Missouri, finding people jobs. You hear all the time somebody says, if you're I can't find a job anywhere. If anybody knows about a job, let me know. Well, I'm just telling you, just call CNS Business Services. They will help get you in a place where it will best fit you and it will fit the employer that they place you in. Again, they are very heavily involved in the community. They have the ear of the employer, and they are able to get people placed in the right positions. So thank you for our sponsors. Now we're going to get back and we are going to thank Cynthia for being on here with us tonight, and we're going to get a little bit more information from her, finding out about some very important stuff now. It's time to talk about your family. Start with your kids and how proud you are of your kids.
My boys, being a boy mom, both Caleb and Cole have just surpassed really anything Steve and I could have ever expected. Probably the greatest thing that I would tell you about both my boys is they both love Jesus. Can I say that on this?
Yes,
So
yeah, absolutely.
they are just great young men who truly follow the Lord and have sought just, the direction of where they're supposed to go in their life. So with Caleb, he has felt a call to serve his country. And actually, he just started pilot training today. So
Wow,
that's really fun.
that's awesome.
But playing basketball, he will be playing next year at the Air Force Academy as well under Coach Scott. And we are just saw him last week. He just turned 19 and has a great group of friends. He loves snowboarding and he's fallen in love with Colorado, and that's great. So, and then
Okay.
Cole has such a heart to really help heal people. When I was trying to work with him through his career choices, he's like, Mom, I just want to save people. He was able to learn from Becky Dickerson, who was a health occupations teacher when he was in high school, just a little bit more about patient care and that type of thing. So he just graduated in December. He did play football. Very proud of him for that. But football and nursing school and all those things don't really mesh real well as far as getting clinicals in and that kind of thing. So he wound up in health sciences, graduated in December. He has been working for Mercy Hospital, Springfield, in a trauma 1 unit. And he's working on his trauma hours, I guess, because he's going to go into being a patient, no, what is it called? A physician's assistant. He's going to go to PA school is his goal. And he also plans to serve in the Air Force. He just has to work on a couple more courses to be able to get into their fast track PA program. He has a special operations recruiter right now trying to get him to go and work in special operations. I don't know if this mom can handle both of them.
Oh, I know. Wow, that's amazing,
But
though.
yeah, I'm very proud of them. But like I said, they love their family, they love their country. They are both young men that I honestly I admire them. I respect them. I don't know how they turned out the way they did because Steve and I just don't do this. So we're very proud.
Well, I'm pretty sure I know how they turned out how they did. So that's you guys have done an outstanding job. And I don't know Cole, but I do know Caleb from the time that we did our interview, as well as we did him on had an interview with him on our Facebook Live. And um, I'm trying to remember how tall is he? Because
Caleb is 6'9".
yeah,
Yeah.
all I remember is that I felt very small standing next to him.
Yeah, he has actually he grew a little bit more from the time he left for boot camp last summer. Yeah, so Caleb's more like my side of the family, the taller side. My daddy was right little over 6'7", almost 6'8",
Uh-huh.
and then Cole is built more like Steve's side of the family. They're stocky, big, muscular, you know,
Yeah.
gruffer. I don't know. They're not long and lean like the rest of like the town. So
What position did Cole play in football?
he was a linebacker.
Linebacker.
And
Okay, I
then
kind of thought so.
last season he wound up playing more defensive end,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, he really enjoyed it. So
Okay. Well, you've obviously had a lot of sports in your life, that's for sure.
yes.
And, I can think of my, well, first of all, since Caleb likes snowboarding and if any of your other of your family likes doing skiing or anything like that, Jay and my son-in-law Jay, my daughter Katie, and my grandkids, they're just on the other side of the mountains in Montrose, Colorado. So you
Wow.
guys could probably holler at them and say, hey, we want to go see some other places in Colorado. I know that they would, in between all of their sporting events that they're doing right now with 5 kids, they would
Oh,
probably find a way.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So very good. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your husband, Lieutenant Colonel Steve Walker, and how important of a role has he played in your life and in the lives of your kids and the community?
My husband is the love of my life. I have, and he's my best friend. Just
Mhm.
a man of deep integrity, deep conviction. And when he retired, he wanted to be able to come back and give to the community that really helped him become the man that he is. He was raised here in Jefferson City. His ultimate goal was to be able to coach football here in Jefferson City, which fortunately he was able to come do that for a little while and coach with wrestling. And then now he's the assistant principal there. So he just loves what he is doing. And I also enjoy being able to work alongside him with ministry. We both are the new Next Up leaders at our church, Freshwater. We specifically are looking at helping young people that are 18 to 30 years of age. So
Mhm.
just working alongside him, and he completes me. I don't know. You're going
Mhm.
to get me all flustered talking about, but yeah,
Well, we
he's a good person.
we just need to make sure that he knows that, this is all recorded and he can pull it up anytime if he needs just a little bit of reassurance. So
I love it. Yeah,
that's great. He said, "You
his
remember
Jefferson
when you
City.
said that?"
Yeah. Jefferson City, when I met him, I had just moved here my junior year in college. I actually went to William Jewell College, graduated from William Jewell. But my parents had moved here in between the summer of college. And we met at the Union Hill Baptist Church right there in your backyard church
Mhm.
in Holt Summit, Missouri. And I we dated for 2 years, and we got married, and he took me off to the military, and I wouldn't change anything. We have experienced a lot. We've been able to live in a lot of different communities, and just growing up with him, it's been wonderful. This empty nester thing is awesome. So for any of you that are nervous about the empty nest thing, it's great. We miss our kids, but it
Yes.
has been good.
And it's great, but it's almost kind of like for just a moment you've got to reacquaint yourself because I know my wife, she had homeschooled our daughter for 18 years, and then with her gone, all of a sudden it was like, who are you? You
Yes,
know?
you do. You have
I,
to be
you know,
very intentional. You have to
yeah,
really carve out time to be together and continue to date and talk things out. And yeah, it's been interesting, last 2 semesters, I guess, without kids and running the games all over the place, cold
yeah.
weekends during the week, but it's
It's
good.
an adjustment, isn't it?
It
It's
is.
definitely an
It
adjustment. Yeah.
is.
But my wife and I, we are definitely enjoying time together. We definitely miss our daughter, son-in-law, and grandkids being so far away. But
Mhm.
we spent a little bit of time playing sequence, and she likes to beat me in that. So we're
Right.
both kind of pretty competitive in that, but she usually wins a little bit more. So just fun. Just get to do that stuff. All
It
right.
is.
Now we were talking about Sports Crusaders, and do you remember Chris Sisk? Do you remember him?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I got acquainted with that was back then. We used to play in a church basketball league over there at Union Hill Baptist Church, and
Mhm.
he introduced me to that, and that was pretty neat.
Yeah. He worked with Dad on staff
Hmm.
and definitely was one of the trailblazers at the beginning of the ministry when
That's right.
we've always been affiliated with Missouri Baptist, but they definitely are partners with us. But when
Yeah.
we pulled out to be our 501c3, Union Hill embraced us and had provided office space and that kind of thing. But Chris was a part of all of that, helping
Yeah.
build that and help us launch. And all. He's out in Potosi, Missouri now, I believe. He runs an IT company, but
Yeah.
he helps with our website. he's still very involved and
Yeah.
just a good man. Just a good man.
Yeah, he was a very good man. So
Mhm.
he also could play basketball pretty good, and he was pretty physical. So I didn't want to go inside when he was in there.
No, he didn't. No, he's
All right.
great.
So tell us a little bit about your dad and your brother. Any other members of your family that you want to talk about how they've impacted you?
Well, probably start with my dad and Bob Stout. He definitely the rock in my life that taught me so much about how to follow the Lord, but also how to meet people where they're at. And he has been a man of impact, I would say. I just left my hometown in North Rock, Arkansas this week, and put to got to meet with a lot of people that helped start sports evangelism. And it's always great to see hear other people talk about your dad, right? But he has uh, really tried to he passed away in 2017, 18, sorry, and that's probably the most difficult things I've ever walked through. And losing, your person, the person you've always looked up to, that definitely hard. But one of the things that I've learned about just through that experience is the importance of the footprint I will leave in my life. What will be said about me whenever I'm no longer here. And he has definitely pointed people forward, but also came alongside a lot of people and helped them heal, helped them seek direction and that type of thing. So, in Sports Crusaders lives on. We're looking at another 30 years, and so he definitely has left an amazing legacy with that ministry under the amazing leadership of Trisha Allen. I don't know if you know her, but she's our executive director of Sports Crusaders. And then he taught my brother how to referee. So my brother started in seventh grade refereeing at the YMCA,
Uh-huh.
and he went on to work at junior colleges, and he is now Division One, and he is currently doing. He'll be going to NCAA here. I believe I'm not real sure where they're playing him. I can't keep up with where all it was. He just finished up the Southeast Conference tournament
Uh-huh.
this past weekend, and so all things basketball for the family. We get our you know who's going to win and all that good stuff. So I'm a big SEC girl, as you can imagine,
Yeah.
but I'm very proud of my brother. He has also served missionary. He does referee camps and that type of thing. And we're anticipating him doing some of those here in Missouri. Chris Bresendine, who is, I know you're not supposed to have favorites, but he's by far my favorite high school referee. But
Yeah.
he and Doug are friends, and he works a lot with Sports Crusaders as well. We're hoping to bring some referee type, uh, camps or training sessions and stuff here at Missouri. So yeah, my brother's amazing. He's a chip off of my daddy's old block, so I
Yeah.
think hold of him as well. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to quickly go back as far as your dad. Obviously, that the good news is that you're going to see him again someday.
absolutely,
That,
absolutely, no better gift that he could give us than the confidence in knowing that he is with the Lord, and we
yeah,
get the temporary residents, right? We're all
yeah,
just temporary residents, right?
that's right.
We'll see
Absolutely.
him.
That's great.
Mhm.
Um, you're actively, we're going to go in and talk a little bit about faith now, but you are actively involved with Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Tell us about that and the importance of faith in your life and why groups like FCA are so impactful to the students that you serve.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been a part of my life for as far as I can remember. My father was the first FCA president at Mississippi State University, and he always talked about FCA and encouraged my brother and I to be active in that ministry while we were in junior and high school. I was actually the vice president of FCA. I was a teen. So just as we've gone and worked with different schools and that type of thing, we find ourselves working with FCA. So here, probably, God, it's probably been about 5 or 6 years ago, I was able to help lead FCA, one at Eldon and then here at Jefferson City. Recently brought them on about 3 years ago. So I think it's really important that we support these ministries that are within our public schools. Uh, these students, these student athletes, one of the things that they tell me about FCA is just it's a safe place for them to land. There's just a common character, but also just the opportunity to come and just ask questions and be able to have other people that are like-minded with them. Athletes are our model. they are the individuals that our students look up to. I mean, it is what it athletes run our country. I mean, that is pretty much,
Yeah.
one of the top things that kids look to. And so my husband and I, many other awesome leaders. I can't say enough about my leaders. I do a little bit. They do tons. They're with these kids
Mhm.
all the time. But just being people that provide a safe environment for them to be able to
Mhm.
come. We bring in amazing leaders that can come in and speak. We just had Coach Engelbrecht,
Yeah, I
Hall of
saw
Fame
that.
coach, who
Yeah.
also, actually, he and his wife Kelly served with us at Freshwater Church as well with the young adults. They're also
Mhm.
leaders with us. But he came and spoke last week to our students, and just keeping it real, giving them real practical how to
Mhm.
live day by day uh, advice, but also helping them know how to become better athletes, how
Mhm.
to, perform at the best of their ability, but also be individuals that just see other people and love people where they're at. We at the FCA of Jeff City, we welcome everyone. We tell all the students to come. You do not have to be an athlete to be a part of FCA at Jefferson City. We have a lot of support from Dan Fisher, who is an
Mhm.
amazing principal, by the way. She has really brought discipline and expectations into that school. I am so proud that she is the leader
That's
of
wonderful.
high school. And we do Field of Faith. I think you
Mhm.
helped us a lot
Mhm.
with promoting that the past few years. Thank you so much, Sports
You're
Soccer
welcome. That's our honor.
Mag. But we have been able to work with Rod Smith, who
Mhm.
has definitely been a supporter of FCA. Kathy Weeson and Scott Ashton are one of our regional FCA people that have come alongside and helped FCA really. So, I don't know if I'm answering all the questions, but
Yeah,
if
that's
your
great.
students aren't involved in FCA, you need to get them involved in FCA. It's a great place to be. So,
Yeah, it really is. And you were talking about Fields of Faith, and that's actually bringing other groups from other schools together. Tell us a little bit about that and why that's so important.
well, we've seen Field of Faith be very successful across the nation, and just a really neat way for students from all different high schools in an area to be able to come together. They all wear different colors, and they go against each other. It's just that healthy, just competition, right? But on that night, they all come together, and
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what color that they wear or what mascot that they represent. They all come together to represent Jesus Christ. And what we have found is a lot of the students wound up becoming friends because as we build the FCA uh, leadership team, pull students from different high schools, students they wouldn't possibly meet, in any other
Right.
fact. Um, and it's really interesting too to see some of them who've competed against each other. To see, hey, that guy, I don't know, and then they just become the greatest of friends.
Yeah, they'd be like,
So that's been
what would Jesus do? Come on.
exactly, exactly. But I was really proud of my husband here. It was over COVID. We had a group of kids that were coming to our home or over Zoom. We were meeting with them, just trying to get them through that difficult time.
Mhm.
And Steve's like, we really should bring FCA here to Jeff City High School. I want to see that now in my alumni. We could do this and we could do it well. And sure enough, we had so many people come
Mhm.
around us and support and I believe we had 6 high schools the first year. And I believe last year we had 10 different students that represented different high schools. So
That's
uh,
wonderful.
I know for Caleb coming from a little tiny, Eugene High School, he definitely met some of his close friends through
Yeah.
that CA Field of Faith leadership. But we're hoping this year to be able to have um, some unique. I won't announce it yet. We'll leave it as a little surprise. But
Okay, good.
we have really great speakers coming in this coming fall Field of Faith. So yep,
All right, there you heard it, folks, right there. The teaser for great speakers coming at
yep.
Fields of Faith this fall. Make sure that you spread the news to the young people that this is something that they definitely want to get involved in. Just know, Cynthia, I think Fields of Faith is such a good example of what one body is supposed to look like. Um, what had happened after Jesus had left. All of a sudden, there started to be all these different denominations develop, and a lot of people picking out, okay, well, I'll go with this part of the Bible, or this is fits my way of thinking, and that's not how it was intended to be. It was intended to be one body, one church
Yeah.
operating together. And so I think that's an amazing picture of what it's really supposed to be like. And so that's a great thing that you guys are doing. So
Well,
well
now
done.
we're seeing revival breaking out all over our nation. If you're familiar with the
Right.
Asbury
Absolutely.
University revival, and now Jesus Revolution movie coming out, and
That was so
it
good. That was good.
it, it it's really to see these young people. They will, I do believe with all my heart, they will bring revival to this nation. This
Yeah.
is the generation to do it. They're amazing. They're worth the investment. I promise.
Yeah. Absolutely. Totally agree with you on that. All right. Well, you've done an outstanding job. Thank you so much for being on here. But I want to give you just a little bit of an opportunity to tell us what's next for Cynthia Walker and Cynthia Walker Coaching.
Well, I'm hoping to be able to serve here shortly on the board of directors. We're going to be looking at bringing in skills camps and those types of opportunities in regard to Sports Crusaders and my
Hmm.
nonprofit participation. As far as Cynthia Walker Coaching, I will be taking on clients if there's anyone that is interested in just doing some career coaching or just life coaching. I do have a degree from Trinity. I am a seminary graduate, so if anyone needs any guidance or any help as far as that's concerned, um, I will be doing a boot camp starting here next week with Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. We meet with the school. I also provide boot camps if there are other types of organizations that would be interested in learning how to start apprenticeships. And then, yeah, just looking forward to carry on whatever comes my way. So it's exciting, lot to juggle. So, but it's good.
Yeah. Well, you're doing an amazing job. And, I know somebody else that thinks you're doing an amazing job. Christina Bush, she just put a comment on here that you're such an amazing person, blessed to know Cynthia. So,
Well, Flat Branch Mortgage, I'll tell you what, she's not only a great mortgage lender, she also has a young man that needs to be looked at. He's a great basketball player. He was young,
yeah.
Isaac played under Caleb, I believe. He's a sophomore this year, but um, outstanding little athlete. Thanks, Christina. So kind of you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, again, you've done a wonderful job, and just gonna pray for continued success and everything that you're doing and impacting our community and the lives of the young people that you're serving. So,
Thank
um,
you.
if you'll hold on for just a moment after I close the program out, I'll finish out by visiting with you. But again, thank you so much, and once again, thank you guys for your service to our country. It is
Thank you,
greatly
sir.
appreciated. All right.
Well, it's an honor. Thank
All
you.
right.
We love
Yeah.
our community. We do. This is a great place to be.
Yeah. It is. It's that way because of people like you guys. Okay. So I got the last word on that. I'm gonna finish out there.
You
All right. I'll visit with you in just a moment. Thank you.
all right.